If you're a small business owner and don't know what your wealth gap is, you could be putting yourself in a very tricky position come retirement. Welcome to Amy Exits, where we talk all things related to buying and selling businesses, and today we're digging into the wealth gap. So stick around because this little bit of information could add millions of dollars to your retirement. Today, we're peeling back the layers on a critical issue that is often in the shadows, the wealth gap. It's the chasm between where you stand today and where you need to be financially after you hand over the keys to your business. This is something that small business owners are notoriously bad at. Have you ever, and I've done this, have you ever met with a financial planner and they sit down and they show you, if you put X amount of dollars every month into your portfolio, we could give you an average of like 7 to 15% interest. And you've thought to yourself, if I put that same money into marketing or into hiring a new person, I can generate 2 to 3 times as much money. This is why, as small business owners, we're so bad at managing the wealth gap. We know that our best place to invest our money is inside of our business, and it works great while you're working. Not so much when it's time to sell and retire. Because remember, 80% of businesses listed for sale don't transfer ownership. The businesses are just not set up to be sellable. And if the owner ends up having to close their doors, they say goodbye to their wealth. Happy retirement, you worked so hard your whole life, enjoy scrimping and saving until you die. I don't want that for you. So take out a pen and paper and let's figure out where you are actually at. For a small business owner, the decision to sell isn't just an exit. It's really like that leap into the next chapter of your life. But without a bridge, that leap can feel like a free fall where you are tumbling down to your doom and death. So how do you build that bridge? How do you ensure that when you sell, you're not just stepping away from your business, but you're actually stepping into the wealth that your business has built? A business is a very illiquid asset, meaning you can't just pull money out of it at any point in time. You actually have to sell it in order to get that money out. And if you had real estate, yes, it would technically be the same, but real estate is more likely to sell. Whereas 80% of businesses don't sell, you're not going to have 80% of houses that don't sell. And so we need to make sure that we get your business and we get your planning to the point that you know exactly what you need, you know what you need to do to get that, and you've effectively created that bridge between the wealth gap. So whether you are nearing retirement or years away, let's write an epic third act where you get to spend the rest of your life and your days pursuing your life's passion, and you have the money to do it. First up, let's define what the wealth gap actually is. The wealth gap is the total liquid cash flowing assets you need to have when you hit retirement age, minus the current assets you have today, not including your business. This would include things like your real estate, your stocks, your mutual funds, 401ks, cash. We do not include the business because your business is not a liquid asset. And because 80% of businesses don't sell, we want to see what the numbers look like with the sell and without the sell of your business. That does not mean that I don't want you to plan on selling your business. It does mean you need to get serious about having a formal transition plan. So now that you know what the wealth gap is, let's break down the math, starting with a principle that's crucial for anyone looking forward towards retirement. This is the 4% rule. So this rule suggests that you can live off of 4% of your retirement savings each year, and you'll be able to outpace inflation and not run out of money. So let's look at a real example and put this into perspective. Let's say you're aiming for an annual income of $200,000 in retirement because that's what you're taking home today. According to the 4% rule, your retirement asset goal would be $5 million. Pretty simple. But there is a catch. You need to factor in the expenses that your business currently covers, which are then going to come back to your shoulders post-sale. So maybe your business pays for your travel, your car, maybe your spouse takes a salary from the business, maybe you're going to need to buy health insurance, and you're going to take everything and add it up for what it would take to maintain your current lifestyle. Now you get to answer the fun question, which is, do you actually want more money during your retirement? Do you want to buy a beach house? Do you want to travel? Do you want to do humanitarian work? I think that coming up with this retirement assets and income goal should accompany spending some time figuring out what you really want your third act to look like. It's not going to feel good if you spend your entire life working towards retirement only to feel like your hands are tied once you retire because you don't have enough money. So spend some time on this, really think it through and get clear on what those numbers are. So in our example, let's go back to it and say that we're raising our desired income to $300,000. We now need $7.5 million in assets. With this new figure in mind, it's time to take stock of your assets without your business and add up your estimated assets. So let's say that you add that all up, it totals to $1 million. You have essentially a wealth gap of $6.5 million. This is one of the reasons why so many business owners have a hard time retiring, because they can pay themselves $200,000 a year, but they don't have $6.5 million worth of assets to make up for the wealth gap. This gap represents the minimum price that your business must fetch in the market in order to bridge the personal wealth gap. But we're not really done yet, because selling a business isn't like withdrawing from a savings account. There's taxes, there's broker fees, more expenses to consider. So these costs can significantly impact the sale price that you need to hit your target. So let's factor in a rough estimate of 30% for these costs. That raises your target sale price by almost $2 million in order to bridge the wealth gap effectively. So if you had a wealth gap of $6.5 million and you need to cover the additional costs for your business in order to be able to sell, you're going to now need to sell at $8.45 million. That's a big number, but it's not insurmountable. The key is that we have to start planning now. In my experience of working with thousands of small business owners over the last 20 years, we tend to focus on business growth. Most business owners actually don't really have any idea what their business is worth today. And they don't know what they would need to do in order to sell for the number that they need to hit their wealth gap. So if you're valuing your business based on what so-and-so said at the country club, what their business sold for, you need to stop that right now. You do not want to tie your future to hearsay. Planning actual exit strategy involves accelerating your business valuation. The biggest mistake I see business owners make is that they wait too long, so that by the time they're thinking about retirement, they're actually tired and they've already started to slow down. Now, there's nothing wrong with slowing down if you have a plan for how the business continues to grow without you, but if not, you're literally lowering the value of your business right before you try to sell it. Increasing the value will involve things like boosting its profitability, documenting processes, diversifying your customer base, and making it attractive to buyers. That might look like seeking financial advice, investing in growth strategies, or maybe even restructuring your business to hit that number. Remember that the wealth gap is not just a number. This is the roadmap for your financial future. Your business sale isn't the end of your financial story. It's a pivotal point that determines how well you live after you move on from your business. So, my friends, understanding the wealth gap and the 4% rule is essential for ensuring your post-sale life is as rewarding as the journey that you've had building your business. It's about foresight and planning and taking the steps today that will pay you dividends tomorrow. So, big question. How much do you want to live on when you retire? And more importantly, why? What does that number represent for you? Because if it's just a number and there's no purpose behind it, I don't feel like we have the draw that we need to get there. But when you know what you want your third act to look like and you know what it's going to take to get there, that's when you get really motivated to start doing the right things in order to set you on that path. Share it with me down below in the comments. If you are like, Amy, I don't know what my business is worth. I don't know what my wealth gap is. I'm not even really sure where to get started here. I want you to consider being a guest on my podcast. I hosted a podcast called The 8-Figure Exit where I do on-air exit planning with small business owners. So if you would like to know your numbers and get clarity on what your business is worth today, along with the ideas of what I would do if I were in your shoes in order to boost that value, I would love for you to apply to be a guest. Nothing would make me happier than helping you build your roadmap to retirement. So I'll drop the link down below. Come and check it out. That's it for our deep dive into the wealth gap for small business owners looking to sell. I am sure this has sparked some thoughts on your exit strategy, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a video and you have all the things you need for successfully buying and selling businesses. All right, my friend, keep building, keep growing, and let's get you to your 8-figure exit.